But man, I think this is such an awesome way for the Celtics to get to finals. I mean, they swept Durant. They had such a battle with the Bucks, and they're going toe to toe with a physical team and Heat, and they're matching. I feel like they've done well to be amorphous in a way. They've learned to be, not that they haven't done it throughout the course of the season, but to do it in the biggest moments, to be versatile, to make adjustments, and they've done that against so like very different teams. I mean, the Nets, the Bucks, and the Heat, very different teams, and they have to really see it. And I think Tatum has mentioned this in interviews and thinking about, not about the future. I mean, I think he's mentioned about how maturing as a player is understanding that time is so limited and that you only have so many chances. Because you think about it, that if Grant Williams doesn't shoot a bunch of threes, they're not here. If Chris Middleton plays, maybe they're not here. Say the Heat are fully healthy. Is this an easy series? Say Ben Simmons was playing and he's been there all year. These things are all going to change next season too. So I think the focal moment is really happening here. And I think that they're really playing in the moment. They're really playing for each other. And I've just been so impressed with the Celtics and everyone. We could talk tactics all day long, but I think it's just really about how they've just responded to adversity. Talk about the Heat having injuries. I mean, the Celtics have had injuries. I mean,
Yeah.
I still have no idea. Last time we recorded, it was about Horford probably being out for like 3 games. I still don't understand and refuse to try how he was in protocols and then all of a sudden it's negative, but he's been great.
He's signing of the
Mark,
season. If they make it to the finals, he could be right up there in terms of, you look back, signing of the season, getting him back. Unbelievable.
it still goes to DeRozan, but nice try. But yeah, it's so much more than, you can talk all day long about what they've done in the court that's been successful and how they've adjusted, but just their mindset. They've had a couple moments. I feel like a couple moments in the playoffs where they've reverted back a little bit to, the finger pointing, the blaming, the complaining, not playing together, and just not looking like themselves. But they've really pushed past that. They've really found their new identity. They've kept it. They've kept it. That was my big question at the beginning of the playoffs: is this the real Celtics? Is this like a real identity, or is it like the end of the regular season when everyone's kind of trotting along and they're just kicking ass when they had a bad start to the season? Like, I think this is who they are, and this is like when a team like this starts to form an identity, that's something that builds I want to say dynasty, but that's something for the long term. So I think that there's always just this murky water of the Celtics of, okay, we got talent, but like, who are we? Is this Tatum team? Is this Brown team? Blah, blah, blah. Like all these question marks. And now it's finally like, this is who they it is. But now there's finally this identity, and to see it in action, see them do it, it's awesome to see. It's amazing.
Yeah. ESPN actually, they put out an article today comparing it to what we saw with the OKC Thunder, and how Boston need to make sure they do not take this moment for granted, and they're arguably the favorites at the moment. You're looking at it,
but being up 3-1.
I know a lot of people are being not up with the Warriors, so they got to go out and grab this moment. Everyone thought when OKC made it to the finals in 2012, this was the first step, and that was going to be the next dynasty.
Yeah.
And it did not happen.
Yeah.
They lost that in 5 games, and they were all the whole thing had fallen apart in by 6 years. Harden was gone by the start of the next season, was it, or the season after? And then Durant went, injuries, different things, but it just never came to fruition. So that's kind of situation. Boston can't take this for granted. They got to go out and grab this moment. It's a big stepping stone for what is still a young team when you look at, obviously, arguably the 2 leaders in terms of Brown and Tatum. But there's experience there too with the likes of Horford, the likes of Smart. They've been around the block. So you can't call this youth on them if they don't go out and grab this moment.
Yeah, I agree.
Thanks for watching Coast to Coast on YouTube. For full episodes, check out the show wherever you get your podcasts. And for all the best hot takes, subscribe to the Coast to Coast YouTube channel below.